today's episode of Parkland Profile, we will be taking a look at the annual Biomedical Symposium, review the making of the spring musical, and interview our newest inductees into the distinguished alumni. Good evening, Parkland. I'm Jason Morales. Welcome to Parkland Profile. Just this Wednesday, the Parkland Education Foundation inducted our newest nominees into the distinguished alumni. We had the pleasure of interviewing them.
I'm Brian Cowans. I graduated from Parkland High School in 2009. I played soccer here for 4 years, and I was a member of the TV studio for 4 years as well. And I greatly enjoyed both of those experiences, and it's fascinating to be back here after some time.
So how did Parkland shape you into the person that you became, not only in the workforce, but also in general, in life post-graduation?
The most important things I did here were the things I did outside of a classroom. Whatever you enjoy to do, there's probably a career out there for you. And if I could encourage anyone to do anything, it's to do what you love to do, because that's how you're going to make the biggest impact in the world. If you're doing something for someone else, or you're doing something just because you're supposed to be doing it, or you're doing it because a book told you to do it, you're never gonna do it as well as you possibly could that if you were doing it for yourself. And so, if you play soccer like I did, and you want to play for Manchester United, make it happen. I didn't, but I found something else I truly loved, and I'm even happier that I'm there now. And, again, I think I found that passion in the TV studio here, and I greatly respect my chance to have that opportunity that I did. But the only way you can find these things is to put yourselves in positions to have experiences, fail, succeed, try something different, see if you love something.
Speaking of your position in Project Owl now and what you did here with soccer and TV studio, how did Parkland and the leadership opportunities that you were presented with here, how has that translated into your job now? In
every team, and in ours in particular, we all find ways to be exceptionally valuable in our particular realm of expertise. And I think you can only get really good at discovering how you can be valuable, how you can contribute to a team, what mistakes you can avoid by having all those experiences previously in life. In the TV studio, we competed in national competitions. We won several of them. If you put yourselves in positions where you can fail and fail publicly, it can be very painful when you do, and you will. But those are the most valuable moments in your life because it's when you grow the most as well. And people who are afraid of failure or who kind of shy away from risk will never have those experiences of extreme growth because they're not putting themselves in position to do something crazy, which often assumes you're doing something very risky, doing something very scary, or doing something different. Those experiences on the soccer field, in the TV studio, the things you get outside of a textbook are what really taught me how to do what I do today and how to be valuable on a team and how to make an impact and to not be afraid.
Hi, I'm Joe Bergstein. I graduated in 1989.
And what are you up to today? Where do you work? What do you do?
So I'm the Chief Financial Officer for PPL Corporation.
And what does your job entail? Like, what do you do for PPL?
I'm in charge of the treasury operations, accounting, tax, risk management, and investor relations.
Do you have any experiences of while you were here that you can pinpoint or be able to talk about that helped you get to where you are?
I don't know if there's anything that I recall that I could pinpoint to that other than I think just generally the Parkland experience and the challenge and the education and the background that it provides. So, in my view, it kind of really set me up and probably set a lot of people up to be successful when we leave here in college or technical field or whatever you might pursue. I think the challenges that Parkland provides, the challenges that the teachers provide you and the support you get as being part of this school kind of really set me up. But I don't know that I could say there's one thing that I could pinpoint. I think it's just the overall experience.
Were there any specific sports or clubs that you participated in here that you can remember?
Yeah, I was on a track team. I played football as part of the Leo Club. And then just, participating in the general student activities that the school district offered.
What advice would you give for students just starting out high school?
Well, I would say get involved. I think that's whether you're starting high school or college or a career, get involved in whatever that maybe has to offer. So if you're coming to high school, get involved. There's, again, as I talked about, there's so many opportunities academically and in other extracurricular activities. So it's just that general involvement, I think allows you to meet more people, learn different things, get, again, that diversity of background and diversity of thought you can get by doing that. I think that's really important throughout life.
And the district, you spoke about what an incredible district this is. What does it mean for you to be recognized as a distinguished alumni?
So when I got the call, I was a little surprised, but it's certainly an honor for me to be not only nominated, but recognized for my accomplishments. A lot of hard work has gone into, that I've done and has got me to where I am today. So to have others recognize that as well and be recognized by Parkland High School, someplace that I really enjoyed being part of, enjoy being part of today. I still try to be involved in Parkland and the community. I think it's just an honor for me.
I'm Callie Seckler, and I'm here with distinguished alumni Jared Brown. Jared, we're so glad that you're here with us today.
Happy to be back here again.
What was your favorite club in high school?
The Airtown Club. There's money for me because I was having and they continue to do which means a lot to me.
Did you have any favorite teachers or people from the high school that you remember?
My favorite teacher in high school was my teacher. My favorite memory in high school is being able to walk at graduation, because I took part in 2014. I graduated from.
Are you a part of any groups, organizations within the community?
I also would like to be a part of my community by playing baseball and trying my best to help out as much as I can.
What kind of feelings do you have about being selected for the Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame?
Never give up hope. That is what I live by, stand by, I just hope to play I'll just not give up.
Hi, I'm Marguerite, and we're here interviewing distinguished alumni Aaron Breed. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What clubs and activities were you involved in here at Parkland?
I was involved in lots of different clubs and activities, and the ones that I can remember, because it was a while ago, was the soccer team. When I got to Parkland, it was the first time ever there was a girls' soccer team. So we had to find a coach. Her name is Mrs. Zosky, to coach our team, and she had never coached soccer before. She had to learn about it, checking out books from the library to learn how to play soccer. And so we had a okay first year, and then after that we got great. And so I played soccer for all 4 years. Mrs. Zosky was great. I was on the student council. I remember being in SAD, which was Students Against Drunk Driving.
So what is it like to be a figure in the same community that inspired you?
I feel really grateful to Parkland for the foundation that it gave me when I was young. One thing, when I was thinking about my high school experience, I remember how creativity was always encouraged at school, or always encouraged in me. When I think back to some of the projects I did, I turned a science classroom into a rainforest. I covered it with vines. I brought humidifiers in to make it really steamy, like played a jungle soundtrack, and then led my class through the classroom and taught them all about the rainforest. Or in another class I took, it was called Athletics and Society. It was like the field trip class. I got to go out a lot. But for my project for that, I remember bringing in a 19-foot aluminum canoe and putting it in the swimming pool and teaching a lesson to my classmates on how to paddle a canoe. So it just felt like when I was there were no limits to what you could do. If you wanted to be creative, you were allowed to be creative and encouraged to be creative. And as a magazine editor and an author, that's something that I have held on to, because I work in a field where creativity is prized and required. And I'm happy that Parkland encouraged that in me.
So what advice would you give to students who are looking to give back to their community like you have?
I think, so I run a children's magazine called Kazoo, and I launched it because I went to the bookstore with my daughter and I saw what was available on the newsstand, and it wasn't good enough. Kazoo's mission is to celebrate girls for being strong and smart and fierce and true to themselves, and nothing was speaking to them that way on the newsstand. And so I decided that something should change. And I decided that if I wanted to see change in the world, I had to make that change myself. It wasn't my responsibility to wait for somebody else to come do it for me or for my kids. So I used what I knew, which was I was a magazine editor for almost 20 years at Condé Nast, and I took my skills and I said, I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to launch an entirely new magazine, a new kind of magazine for girls that's better than what's out there. And I think my advice to students about that is that if you have an idea, follow it. Put in the work to make it real. When you look around, everything was somebody's idea. It all starts as an idea. And if you're willing to put in the work to make it real, you can do that.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Good. Thank you.
Last month, Parkland hosted our annual Biomedical Symposium sponsored by St. Luke's. News correspondent Xander Blickley is taking us to take a look at the event.
I'm
I'm Hannah Frederich, and today we're here at Parkland's 2022 Biomedical Symposium, sponsored by St. Luke's, to talk to students and healthcare professionals about their experiences here today. We're here with biomedical sciences teacher, Mrs. Kowalski, to talk about her experiences here today. So obviously this is a super exciting event. What is happening today and what are the students learning?
So we have lots going on, as you said. We have a cadaver dissection, we have surgical techniques, demonstrations, suturing techniques, injection techniques. The simulation lab from St. Luke's is here, the ambulance from St. Luke's is here. They're getting AED and CPR training, injection training, and stop the bleed training. It's really over the top amazing.
So you said there's a cadaver dissection obviously going on behind us. What is being dissected and what value does this have for students?
Yep, so obviously we are so honored that we have individuals who donate their bodies to science, and we have all of these students who are interested in pursuing a career in the medical field that are able to learn from this experience. And so they will, Dr. Heckman from St. Luke's, as well as other medical professionals, are dissecting and showing them the anatomical structures of the knee throughout the course of the dissection and the various layers of the knee. So overall, knee anatomy.
And what benefit does this have for students, especially those that want to go into the medical field?
Right, so we have about 260 students in the program overall involved in our event today, and almost all of them are going to pursue a career in medicine, and some may find, oh, this is not for me. That's important to know in high school, but the vast majority of kids are, further impressed upon about their excitement and inspired about becoming a medical professional in some way.
All right, thank you so much. We're here with Janet and Chelsea, who are both EMTs and St. Luke's CPR instructors. So what are you guys teaching today to the biomedical science students?
We're going over the importance of starting CPR right away, and just basically the importance of circulating the blood throughout the body to keep the organs alive.
And then obviously CPR is super important for life in general, but how will this help benefit the students who could potentially be going into the medical field when they're older?
So CPR is kind of like your building block. Everything kind of bases off if your heart is beating and you're circulating your oxygen to your brain. And it's a good stepping stone for your initial classes that you're going to take. Like I said, everything kind of correlates with the heart, and you learn anatomy, you learn like different types of pulses, and I think it benefits you as a starting point if you want to, go further into the medical field, and like a doctor or a nurse, especially like EMTs like us, we kind of have like the basis of everything. So it's a good starting point to get yourself into the medical field.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jenny Kidd. I'm the director at the Vanell Institute. We are a bioskills lab in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We do cadaveric training for surgeon education, research and development, and we do some of these high school events as well.
So what is happening today and what are the biomedical students learning today?
Sure. So St. Luke's is providing a doctor that is teaching them the anatomy and physiology of the knee. We were grateful enough to get this gift of donation from one of the cadavers, and I'm able to bring it into the facility and they can teach the kids.
So obviously what you do has benefit for doctors, but how is this helping these students and figuring out what they will do with their future in the medical field?
Sure. Yeah, I think this exposure is something that they're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And I think it could actually give them a good direction if they want to, go down this route, and just give them some good insight of a medical career.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks.
What are you guys expecting to gain out of today in general, and going forward as students who could be going into the medical field?
I'm just really excited to gain a better knowledge and understanding of what these professionals do.
I think it's a really good insight on the future. It's we don't really know exactly if we want to do it, but it's a good peek.
We're here with biomed students.
I'm Murad.
I'm Ibrahim.
And so what are you guys learning today here at the Biomedical Symposium?
So today we're actually dissecting a knee, and we're learning all about the muscle groups, the bone structures, and all the different parts of the bone structures connected to the tendon.
What value does this have for you guys going forward, and what are you expecting to get out of today's experiences?
I think it's good to get like a real one-on-one experience with this. It gives us a better understanding of what we're looking at, what we're working with, better than kind of looking at a paper, looking at a screen. It gives us more of that kind of feel. You get to touch it and everything, kind of just understand it more in general.
We're here with junior biomedical science students Evan Land and Praveen Shreshkumar to talk to them about their experiences today. So what have you guys been doing today so far?
So today we went through a couple of stations. So we started at the injection station, and then we went outside for the simulation truck. We toured an ambulance, and then we came back and we looked at pig's lung. And then over there in the Link Lab, we worked with CPR and AED devices.
So obviously learning CPR is a very valuable experience in general, but how are the rest of these stations going to help you guys in the future and just the knowledge that you're gaining today in general?
So each station was very diverse, so it gave us a lot of opportunities to learn like what different fields of medicine there are, because there isn't one like specific pathway you should like take immediately. They gave us a lot of options and like pathways through St. Luke specifically, so I think that was very beneficial in just like opening our minds to the field of medicine.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Xander. Another important event last month occurred in the A-Wing. The spring musical Mamma Mia marks the full return of theater at Parkland High School. News correspondent Taryn Merrick brought us a behind-the-scenes look at the show.
Mamma Mia will be my 15th show at Parkland High School. I think picking a show is always a difficult task. You look at your cast, your crew, your pit, the students that we have involved. I think this year in particular, it was coming out of the pandemic, what should we do for our students and our community? And although we had some great substitutes during the pandemic, we did a lot of virtual things. Last year we did Joseph as a virtual performance. I was really looking to do something fun for our students, for our community, and so I think Mamma Mia encompasses that. We're bringing back live theater in a way that the audience can really enjoy what's happening. We've done some great dramas like Phantom of the Opera and Hunchback, and it's great to do those kind of performances, but I think coming out of the pandemic, everybody's looking to be entertained and have a lot of fun, and we're as a cast and crew having a lot of fun putting this production together. Putting together musicals is a big process. It starts with choosing the show, and like I said, that is like key in step number one in terms of choosing the right thing for the cast and the crew and for our community. And then we audition. So we find the students in the cast first, and we audition for principal roles and dancers and singers and ensemble, and then we start rehearsals. So we've been about a month and a half into rehearsals, and each night is a little different. Sometimes we do some vocal rehearsals, sometimes we do some staging, sometimes we do some choreography. Of course, all of those elements will meld in. The other elements of the show are also rehearsing, so we have the stage crew that comes in and they're doing their thing, and then eventually all of those elements come together, and so you have costume crew and you have the costumes and makeup and hair and a pit orchestra, and so at some point it is like weaving all of those elements together to put on the production, which makes the spring musical a little unique from some of the other theatrical events that we do here. It really takes a lot of tentacles and puts them in together into one huge arts event. So right now we're in that process of putting all the little pieces together, and in about a month, at the beginning of April, we'll start to add all those other elements into the production.
Donna, she's in her mid-40s, and obviously I'm not, so you know, there's like different behaviors and mannerisms that like an older woman would play. So I definitely enjoyed being able to perform live for an audience again. That's definitely like one of the most rewarding parts of the show. And since we weren't able to do that last year or the year before, it was really great to be able to do that again.
I really loved working with the rest of the cast and the whole crew as well, just because of how much we bond and how much we become a unit during the 4 months of rehearsals. And it just all comes together in a really fun show, and it's really enjoyable working with all the amazing people. Besides obviously the amazing people, I would say my most favorite thing about the production is just getting to be on stage after not performing for for 2 years because of the pandemic. It was so fun to go up there and put all our energy into theater.
To end our show, we have news correspondent Chloe Chase and Jake Barnett to give us some information about Parkland Cares Pantry.
I'm news correspondent Chloe Chase. I recently sat down with Parkland Cares co-founder Katrina Sundstrom and 2 of her volunteers to talk about the incredible work her and her team are doing. Here's what they had to say.
My name is Katrina Sundstrom, and I am the co-founder and executive director of the Parkland Cares Food Pantry. Parkland Cares began as a way to give back to those in our community who were suffering in silence from hunger. In 2018, we became an official 501c3, and in June of 2019, we fed our first 12 families.
My name is David Hine. I'm the president of the Parkland School Board. I met Katrina at a social services fair at the high school and just started talking to her, realizing that there's a need in the community. Katrina was, filling that, and at the end of the session, realized that, she hadn't even fed one family yet, and the passion that she had for doing this for the community was just so overwhelming that I just had to come and help and be part of this.
My name is Kate Robbins. I'm a math teacher at the high school, but I'm also a volunteer here at the Parkland Cares Food Pantry. I started volunteering because I saw a social media post that they needed donations. I came over here with a donation and asked how I could help.
Parkland Cares helps to feed the community. We have 2 major components of the pantry. Once monthly, we serve roughly 140 families at Kernsville Elementary School with a contactless drive-through food distribution, where we fill families' trunks with 2 to 3 bags of non-perishables, 2 bags of fresh fruits and vegetables, anywhere between 2 to 4 pounds of meat, a dozen eggs, a loaf of bread, and some household items. So once monthly, we have snack packing that goes on with our volunteers that helps to feed roughly 300 students in the Parkland School District to help curb hunger over the weekends when there is an absence of the free and reduced lunch. There are many ways that individuals can help our mission here at Parkland Cares. One of them is by volunteering. Both adults and students can go to our website and fill out our form in order to become a volunteer. Volunteers help to stock our shelves. They help with our snack packs. They also help at our distributions 1 time a month in order to help to feed our families.
So we have a program here called Teens Care, and we come twice a month with teen volunteers from Parkland High School and from other high schools. And the best part for me about volunteering here is working with them, seeing my students and meeting new students, but in a different environment and working together with them to help the community.
And finally, one of the last ways that individuals can help here at the pantry is by making a financial donation. Those donations help to fill the gap when we need to purchase food. It also helps us to secure our facility here with our rent payments and other miscellaneous things that may come up with the pantry. For those families and individuals who are in need, we ask that they visit our website at parklandcaresfp.org. There they will learn about our different services. When they visit us for the first time at the pantry, we ask that they bring a form of ID and proof of residence, and we then welcome them into the Parkland Cares family.
It's a family atmosphere. Everybody is just here to help out the community, and there is a need in the community, and everybody comes together and fills that need.
One of the things I think I love most about Parkland Cares is the sense of community and the sense of family. Our families, whether they're a family of 1 or a family of 12, they are families. Our volunteers are our family. We've been asked before to sum up Parkland Cares into just a few words, and those words are community helping community. It truly is a community that comes together to give back to those, and we are extremely proud of what we do here.
For Parkland Profile, I'm Chloe Chase.
Thanks, Chloe and Jake. That's all we have for you today on this episode of Parkland Profile. Be sure to tune in next month for our final episode of the year and our senior send-off. I'm Jason Morales. Have a wonderful day, Parkland.